Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are showcasing one of the original tanks that was added to WoT console, and that is Tier 9 American Tank Destroyer T30. This is the only tank destroyer at Tier 9 that has 750 alpha with 10 degrees of gun depression. There's another tank with 10 degrees of gun depression that is AT60, but it has low alpha, and that is obviously a better tank in every way. However, T30 can still hold its own, but it does come with its weakness. Let's go over the weakness first. The tank is sluggish, slow power to weight, slow turret rotation, doesn't have the greatest armor. It is the T29's hull as well as the turret. So what separates from T29 is, which is a tier 7, is the 150 plus gun. So if you're playing T30, you need to play the bigger 750 alpha gun, because if you want the 320, you can play just T29. If you want the 400 alpha gun, you can play T34. But what separates T30 from T34 and T29 is the alpha, as well as the tank does have premium APCR, so you don't have to worry about switching between standard and premium. And that's what the key thing about T30 is. It has premium APCR, 10 degrees of gun depression as we mentioned, 750 alpha. And if you want to make the best out of it, the position is the most important in regards to this tank, and we'll see in this game. Because whichever position you end up taking early on, you kind of just play around that position unless later in the game you have an opportunity to push, and still you have to be very careful because it's slow. If it gets spotted, you'll instantly die because very weak armor. Even the turret can be penned, but since it's a TD, we get the camo net bonus. So if you control your peaks in a way that you don't expose your turret that much, only expose when you have to, you still end up with bounces against poorly aimed shots, as well as if they're firing only standard shells. But because it has high alpha, you don't have to peak that often. And as you can see in this game, already at 3000 damage, and I drove over to D7, D8 area. This is where I'll end up spending most of my game, because I can support the right side, the A line if the enemies push, as well as I can support the J line if it's getting pushed. So moved a little bit forward, CC Mark II was pushing, put a shot into his side, set him into fire. Another benefit of high alpha or high caliber guns, that you do end up damaging modules, as these guns have higher module damage. So set him on fire as it was side. Tortoise peaks. I was not a bit sure about this penetration because Tortoise have solid armor, and T30 gets 40 meters of pen drop on premium shells over 500 meters. So even though the standard pen is 320, at 500 it's only 280, so it doesn't really feel like premium. So I was a bit iffy on Tortoise, but I do end up penning that tank, probably because of the high penetration roll. CC Mark to expose his side again, and a beautiful shot into his side again with 800 alpha, already at 5400 damage. And as I always say, for you to have a 10k game, this is a situation you have to be in where the score is 12-12, or even if your team is losing by a tank or so, and you are at 5400 damage. Since our team won the AB line, I have now moved a couple blocks back so I can support the medium and TD over at J9 while they're getting pushed. Again, went to another ridge. Just the key is to always be hull down. Don't be in the open. That applies to any other tank as well. But some tanks have speed, so even if you're in the open, you have the ability to quickly move and get in cover, but that's not the case with T30. Slow reverse speed, not the greatest moving forward as well. So pick your ridges and stick to it. Pick the position, stay there, and try to help. So aim time is 2.9 as well, not the greatest aim time either. And I rushed my shot onto the soldier there, and up bouncing it. Not happy with it, because once you're going to realize that there is an opportunity, any miss is much more painful than it regular otherwise is. So waiting for those tanks to push our two guys. One of their tank probably fell off the bridge, 50 TP. That bridge, you do need 40 km/h plus speed to jump over that bridge. However, it's not always easier for heavy tanks. Yak pushed, he exposed his sides towards me, and I ended up penning him. But in return, they also penned our Foch, and the soldier is flame throwing our AVRE. I got a little bit too confident. I should have peeked forward, because this is the miss that's going to come back to haunt me, as I missed my shot into Super Conqueror. I was trying to hit his turret, but he moved and my shell went over his engine deck. Terrible shot over there, as I had all the time in the world to aim. So the second time I do end up penning him, and the aviary in our team managed to take out the Super Conqueror. Now Yak Panther is the only tank left, scores even 7-7. Look, we are looking pretty comfortable. However, Yak is kind of angled towards me, waiting for the right opportunity. Pretty shot into Yak, but this is where I feel the penetration had a low roll, as well as he might have angled a little bit and ended up bouncing. Wasn't expecting that bounce, especially at this time. Again, trying to help my team to put a shot into Yak. Another bounce. As you can see, all these shots are 500 plus meters, and that's where you end up missing more shots or bouncing more shots. Waiting for an opportunity if there's any other tank that are pushing our team, but so far things are looking good for our team. Now we're again losing by a tank, and our team on D4, which had pushed, actually we were winning by a tank. The team that had pushed D4, they lost another tank over there. It's a keep very not easy to push across an open map, since their team was not on D3 anymore. They were at the backside. Whenever our tanks tried to cross, they were getting outspotted and farmed. And we do end up losing a couple more tanks, as we had a huge advantage when our team pushed AB line. We lost the Type 5 as well. Another tank with no camo gets farmed. This game was recorded a while back, so Grill doesn't have the camo buff it had now. However, still, enemy team is getting spotted by another tank destroyer and just getting farmed. Now we're losing by one tank. Only one TD remaining. Grill gets spotted. Taking my time to aim because I know our TD will not survive much long, and that's what happened. V5 end up going down. Artillery penned Grill. He's potential one shot for me if I high roll, but I don't. Almost an average roll, and now he's one shot, bringing my total to 7,500 damage. But now the things are looking tough because we only have two tanks on the left and no on the right, as that means I have no vision. But they also have 3 tank destroyer and 2 mediums. And if they make a mistake, for example, if they get overconfident as our team, I can farm them as well. And that's what happened. T58, 1500 damage, driving in the open. Very confident. I spot him, then get it inside the bush to put a pen. I do end up penning him, and then the tortoise that I shot earlier also is spotted. But unfortunately, our aviary, which was doing decent over on the other side, also end up probably falling off the bridge. I spot T58 again. Our artillery missed. He's shot close to him, but no splash. Unfortunately, otherwise he would have died by now. But I do ended up penning him. Low roll 670, and our last remaining heavy tank is also dead. T58 peaked again, and this time artillery do not miss. Full health Grill peaked over on this side. We trade shots, bringing my total to 9,600 damage. And I was like, okay, I can take a shot from Tortoise. I can just push this Grill, get into a better position as I get shot in the back. Initially I thought that is the shot from Tortoise, but it was from Super Conk. Then the second shot from Tortoise and the third from Super Conk as well. And unfortunately, I was not able to do 10k damage. If I had stayed there, waited for Grill to peak or some other tank to push me, I might have been able to hit the mark, as all I needed was one shot, and especially since they didn't have artillery. But unfortunately 9,600 it is for this time. And as you saw for this tank, if you pick the right position in the map, you can dish out a lot of damage. You can hold your own, especially if you have just one tank to support you. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.